What is up, Corporate Misfits? Welcome to episode 61 of the Corporate Misfit podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Darrington, founder of the Corporate Misfit Club and business strategist for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start, launch, and grow their business. I'm so excited for today's Friday feature. We are chatting with Kayse Blair, who runs a PR company, and she's going to share with us how she left her 9-to-5 to start her own business. Kayse truly believes that you should have a story to tell 24/7. She works with her clients to help them tell their story in a way that sets their soul on fire through visual and communication plans. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and hear how Kayse left the 9-to-5.
You're listening to the Corporate Misfit podcast with Brittany Darrington, where female entrepreneurs can get powerful tips and advice on how to start, launch, and grow their business.
Kayse, thank you so much for joining me on the Corporate Misfit podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you today. Well, one of the main reasons why I'm so excited is because, one, you are from Texas. So my first Texas person, so excited because I have been interviewing women like crazy. And I'm like, no one is from Texas. And finally, just right there, you are from Texas and I love it. So Kayse, just in case someone is not familiar with the services that you provide, can you share with us what it is that you do within Kayse Blair?
Yeah, so I do a little bit of media relations. So that's helping write pitch emails to get you out there. A lot of branding. And then I'm currently working on adding crisis communication plans. Because I know that is a big thing, especially nowadays for businesses. So that is the next thing to be rolling out is that. And so I'm excited about that. But most of it has to do with pitching yourself and a lot of branding.
Wow. I love talking all PR and branding because it's something that when we are in our 9-to-5, we think to ourselves, like, we don't have to brand ourselves. We don't have to pitch ourselves, but you're actually doing that like 24/7 when you're an entrepreneur. And even as an employee, even if you work for a company, you're like making sure that their brand is presented properly and things like that. And like, we just don't think about that until we go out into business for ourselves and we're like, oh, we have to do it too. Did you have a backup plan, or did you have a plan of like what you were going to do when you were getting started?
Absolutely not. So I was living in North Carolina at the time, and my mom was diagnosed with ALS. And so I knew she only had a few months left. And so I made the decision that I was going to quit my job and come back to Texas. And I thought I'd only be here through the summer of 2017. And it's, December or November of 2018, and I'm still here.
Like, what?
But when I'm like, I don't even know what day of year it is. But when I came back, I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to corporate. I really want to do something for myself. And I had a friend that was a coach, and she needed help with social media and things like that. So that's how I got started. The entrepreneur thing is doing that with her. And I decided, you know what? I love this. Like, I'm no way am I going back to a 9-to-5 corporate thing. I'm a workaholic. And so I had a hard time saying no and setting boundaries and that. So when this presented itself, it was so much easier because I really could say, hey, you know what? I can't today. I have a toddler. I can't. And it's not even my toddler, it's a friend's toddler, but I was keeping her at the time. And so with that, that's when I was like, okay, all in on the entrepreneur thing. These are the things I love to do. These are the things I don't love to do. And I'm like, how do I make it work? So I kind of did it more as a VA to kind of test the things that I liked to do, right? Because there's so many of the things that I like to do. And then that's when I've narrowed them down and was like, nope, these are the handful of 3 or 4 things that I really want to focus on. And that's how I am here today.
I love that you said that you kind of just went through some of the things that you enjoyed and try to figure out what to narrow it down to, because that is something that so many entrepreneurs have at first, like in the very beginning stages. We're like, I want to do this, that, and that. And I want to implement it all at once. And I want to start my podcast. I want to be an expert, and I want to be in social media, this and that. And it's like, you cannot.
Right. Focus on one thing.
Exactly.
Focus on one thing.
I know that's one of the hardest things, especially creative, on that creative side of things. You're like, how do I stay focused? How do I How do I focus on this one thing and get that up and going and then implement the next?
Yes.
You said you're workaholic. Were you a workaholic when you started your business?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 7 days a week, nights and early mornings and nap time and any chance I could.
Wow.
I just recently, so I did that, and then I made a system. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to schedule out my day, right? So I can say no. And I'm setting time that it's like, go eat lunch, go have dinner and watch TV for 45 minutes, right? Because I still watch Grey's Anatomy. I know I'm probably like one of the
13 seasons. Holy
I'm probably one of the only ones that still watches it, but I still do. And so I had to schedule that stuff in. And so I'm like, I'm crazy. Like, stop doing all of these things. Because, after a while, so tell people you can only do it for so long, and then you don't do anything well.
Yes.
Right? And then you're just doing stuff, to be doing stuff. So I have a Trello board, and I have my week outlined. So like Mondays for marketing, Tuesdays client work, Wednesdays for content creation, Thursdays wrapping up client work and loose ends, and Fridays for me for financial and personal development. And so like that's like how I structure my day now, because it keeps me from burning the midnight oil.
When we're working and we're not really taking care of ourselves, we're not scheduling those times for us to just have that like decompress and watch Grey's Anatomy moments, then we find ourselves, like you mentioned, just going through the motions, but not really moving forward, not actually getting to where we want to go, because we're just doing the things now instead of actually being effective and really getting ourselves to that next level. Did you have those fears of like, what if I can't do this? Or what if I fail? And what if I don't make any money? Like, did you have any of those possible fears?
Yeah, of course. And I think my biggest fear was really, can I pay my bills? Am I going to make money doing this? Like, I quit my job, and I had some money in savings, but how long is how long does it last? Like, because at some point I still have to pay bills, whether I make money or not. And so that was, I think, my biggest fear. And a little bit of rejection, like there's, it's a saturated market. Like how do I stand out? So more rejection than being different. Like I can be different. Like I'm a Texan, and I'm loud and proud, and
we do things big in Texas.
That's just how Texans are. Like, everybody always says, "Oh my gosh, you're so Texan," and I'm like, "Whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Of course I am." So I didn't really. That part was more just feeling that rejection of just the client. Like, is somebody not gonna like me? Like, but I like everybody. Or are they not gonna like me? So I think that was probably that, and just making enough money to pay my bills were like my big fears.
Yeah, that's a big fear. I mean, those are really big fears, because again, most of the time we consider corporate world, or whether it's a Fortune 500 or wherever it is that we're working, we consider that to be stable because we're receiving a paycheck or we're receiving benefits and things like that. And so to go into the world of the unknown and not really be sure of like, am I ever going to make any money from what I'm about to do is scary. It is so scary. And I think you really have to believe in yourself and really kind of trust that instinct of like, can I really do this? And what amount of time am I going to give myself? Now, a lot of people really struggle to figure out who their ideal customer is in the very beginning. And so when you obviously came into this world that might've been new to you, how did you decide like who you're going to work with? Who's your ideal customer? What were some of the steps that you took to get there?
So one of the things that I always, and this is something I always tell other people, is your ideal customer is a version of yourself, right? So ultimately it may not be your current version, but it could be a past version of yourself. So when I first started, I've switched ideal customers since I started, because, I was in a different place in life with my mom being sick and passing. And so, I had I was just a little more prim and proper. I would like to say. And so I had this, almost, I always tell people, like, I compared her to like an Emily Lay would be like an ideal customer. So people who know Emily Lay will know who that is. But then I was like, got to thinking about it, and I was like, that was the version of me at that time. And then I'm like, I was reading Girl Wash Your Face.
Oh, I love that book by Rachel. Oh my gosh.
So good.
So good.
But it was a huge awakening for me, because I was like, that is not the person I was growing up. That is not the person I was in college. That was not the person in my 20s. I want to be the person. So that's now my ideal client, is my old version of myself. It just, I needed to go through that process of refinement, I guess, to figure out who that was. And so so now that is Emily Lay. I love her to death, but so not my ideal client anymore.
Wow.
It is such a sassier attitude, go bold, big, don't care, like tell the world, talk about all the controversial things. That's the person. Like, make it big. Doesn't matter what it is.
You don't think about it until like later on, but sometimes in the very beginning, you really think like, my customer is going to be this person, and they are going to act like this, look like this, and hang out in these areas. And like you said, sometimes it's a version of you, whether that's your present or your past or where you were at 10 years ago, whatever it may be, because I help new entrepreneurs, because I know how crazy it is when every business I've ever started. And I think about it, I'm like, I try to help those individuals who are like me, where you want it so bad and you just need that person to kind of help mentor you and get you over the hump. So you figured out who your ideal customer was over time and really got down to the nitty gritty of like, I really like this person. How do you now go after them? How do you market to them? How do you find them? What do you do?
Obviously Instagram and Facebook are the two primary places. In Facebook, I'm in groups, of course, that have people with my ideal client in it. And there's people always asking for people on social media for things. And you'll be able to find somebody there. I get a lot of referrals, is how I get most business, is through referrals. So I'm not the best Instagram person. I'm working on it.
I'm not either. I'll go MIA for like a good chunk of time. I'm like, I don't feel like doing it.
That's me. I just don't love the way social media works sometimes.
Yeah, some days I don't want to show you my life.
I just don't care about what's on Instagram today.
Yeah.
So I'm so not the best of that, but I do use it, and then I really it's just setting up a system, talking to consistent vibes, and they say being consistent, and I'm like, okay, okay, consistency. I'll be consistent with being inconsistent. You don't have to post 5 days a week or 7 days a week. And that's the thing. And honestly, Instagram's algorithm now, you really can post 2 days a week and be done. Your information's going to recycle. If it hasn't been seen in somebody's feed, it's going to pop back at the top. So you really don't have to. Just if 2 days of 2 days a week works for you, then only post 2 days a week. And initially, for probably the first few months, work more on building a connection than asking for a sale.
I agree.
That's another thing that I see a lot is people asking for the sale more, and I'm like, but people don't know who you are. How are they going to buy from you? Especially
in the beginning, like you got to build that trust.
Oh yeah. And so those are the big things I would say.
Now, in the very beginning, a lot of new entrepreneurs want to be on every platform. They're afraid to miss out, the fear of missing out, or the fear of, okay, my customer's here, and here. What would you recommend to a new entrepreneur when it comes to social media?
The biggest thing is pick one that you want to be on the most, pick one that your ideal client's on, and one that you can commit to the time to engage in. It doesn't matter which one it is. So if you like Instagram and that's your favorite, then only focus on Instagram and put all your efforts in there. So you're taking that time in the afternoon or morning or evening, whatever time it is that you can take, your 15 to 20 minutes to engage fully and wholeheartedly, leaving meaningful comments, not just, oh, I like
Cute.
it, or cute. Like literally respond to what they're asking or saying, leaving a beautiful comment, but pick just one, and it doesn't matter which one it is. Because once you get that one going, then you can add the others. I mean, there's people everywhere. I would just pick the one that, like for me, it's the one that I'm most willing to get on.
Now, I want to just ask you if you could give any piece of advice to a new female entrepreneur who's looking to leave their 9-to-5 and to build their own empire, what would you tell them?
Okay, so the big thing, what I would say is to do some research and planning, like get to know your why. What's the deep why of why you want to do that? Because I think that too can play a huge part of you deciding the direction to go, who you want to serve, what services or products you want to offer, things like that. And the ultimate job is that you're doing something to make somebody's life better, but you've got to do the research and plan. And then my other thing is just go for it. Like surround yourself with people that support you and encourage you, and but be prepared to work, because it's hard work. It is not easy, and it is going to take some time and dedication, but remember what inspired you in the first place.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Hold on to that why. Because you definitely need it, because entrepreneurship is like up and down, and all the time I have to go back and pull from why did I start this? Why am I doing it?
It's a roller coaster.
It sure is. Now, what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Oh, my favorite part. Honestly, I don't know what my favorite part is. I think my favorite part is that it really is probably the people, to be honest with you. The people that I get to meet. Like, I have met some crazy, amazing individuals, like in real life and on social media and things like that. And so that's probably my favorite part, is the people I've gotten to meet.
Oh, I love that. I have enjoyed having you on the show, Kayse. You've been absolutely fabulous and amazing. I've enjoyed every ounce of getting to learn more about your business and how you left your 9-to-5. So thank you for joining us on the Corporate Misfit podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Now tell us how we can stay connected with you.
Okay, I'm on Instagram at Kayse Blair, and then Facebook, I'm Kayse Blair as well.
And thank you again for joining us.
If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Corporate Misfit podcast, we invite you to check out the Corporate Misfit Club. The Corporate Misfit Club is the essential resource for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow a business they actually love. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur in your startup phase or simply thinking about taking the leap into entrepreneurship, we've got your back, girl. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive members-only discount perks, and unlimited tools. We also have a supportive community of women where our members share stories, experiences, their wins, and business tips. The Corporate Misfit Club is the perfect place to be to start, launch, or grow a business. So check it out at corporatemisfitclub.com.